everyone, I'm Kathryn and today I'm answering the question, why did I go to France? And I get asked this from time to time, and it's very difficult for me to condense it into a few sentences. So here's a video. So if you don't know and you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I've gone to France 3 different times. Each time I've gone to France, there's been a different reason behind it. First time I went to France, I was naive and full of dreams and happy thoughts in my mind about what France was, because I'd only learned about France in my French class. For me, it was just this beautiful place that had beautiful architecture and castles and this breathtakingly beautiful language. Technically all that is true, but when I went to France to study abroad, oh my gosh, it was so bad that when I went home, I thought I am never going back to France again. Been there, done that, over. It was sort of startling because my going to France the first time was my first step in my mind of me eventually moving to France, because I had this big goal of studying abroad in high school and then eventually going to school in France so that I could get a degree from some school in France and maybe teach English in France or teach French in America. I don't know. I was like 17 at the time. After France, I was like, no, I need to figure out something else I can do because I never ever want to go back to France. But guys, you should never say never, because fate will be like, hold my beer, I'm gonna mess with you because I'm fate and I'm mean. Because while I was in France, I met Prince Charming and I was just struck by Cupid's arrow, and I said, that is the one, that's the guy I'm gonna marry. We started dating when I was 18 years old, and after a year of dating, we sort of got to that point where realistically, one of us was gonna have to move. I wasn't sure if I would be able to handle living in France because I had such a negative experience. I still had that nasty taste in my mouth from the first time. So the second time I went to France was literally to see how bad it was going to be if I chose to pursue a relationship with the man that I was in love with, because I didn't want to live there. I really, really did. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, guys. It was just really, I love France so much and I hate saying crap about it, but it's just like my experiences were so negative there. And when I went to France, like literally on day 1, I got crap. And I was just like, oh, okay, so it's exactly as I remember it. Okay. I stayed there for a year and it actually wasn't as bad as I was anticipating. I think that had to do with the fact that I was expecting hell. I just got a little bit above hell and I thought, okay, maybe I can do this. And Prince Charming and I had talked it over, and there was discussions that perhaps someday in the future we could move and leave France. And so with that in mind, we got married. And then the third time that I went to France was because I was married and I was going to live there. And just as a side note, guys, if you ever want to go to a foreign country, marry somebody, because oh my goodness, the paperwork is so much easier. I mean, it's still a pain in the butt and you will want to rip your hair out, but comparatively to all the other ways that you can go and get into a country, marriage is the way to go. Obviously, don't get married for fraudulent reasons. That's illegal and bad. Getting married made the whole administrative part of France more manageable because I only had to deal with it every 10 years instead of every year. Those are my reasons that I decided to go to France. And if you've gone abroad, particularly if you've gone to the same place more than once, I'd love to know what your reasons were, because I sort of feel like no matter what, whenever you go to a country for the first time, there's that naive curiosity about what the country's going to be like, and then the second or third time is more like, can I realistically live here? Because you sort of learn that it's not all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns pooping out happiness, because it's like, it's just like your country except there's more paperwork and there's a language barrier. Like, that's the difference. I know, not romantic, not so positive, but that's what it's like living abroad. Paperwork and a language barrier. That's what I have for you guys today, so if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tootsies, may applezines. Remember a couple months ago when I made that video about my car and how much it sucked? I got a new car, guys, and oh my gosh, it's so cool and hip, and it has like all the bells and whistles and like stuff, except it yells at me all the time. Like, it yells at me when I'm speeding. It yells at me if I'm not exactly in the middle of the lane. It yells at me if I accelerate too much because, like, I'm not being eco-friendly. And I feel for the first time I'm not in charge of the car. The car is in charge of me because it's constantly beeping at me. And yeah, my car is mean. Like, I love it, but my car is mean. It's very bossy. It's a bossy car.